Hello, welcome again to FAIRtax Power Radio. I'm Bob Paxton.
And I'm Elaine Malero.
And that means we got to do a little bit of gender bending to make this work, but we are
the FAIRtax people.
FAIRtax people, okay, that works. Well, if you were with us last week, you saw that we had to draft into service at the last minute Jade Wally.
Well, who did a very good job.
He did, and thank you, Jade. But, Ron is on the shelf, and apparently still is.
Yes, he is.
So, real quickly, I know folks are concerned about him. How's he doing?
He's doing good. It's a slow recovery, but it's going to be fine.
All right. Well, hopefully next week, if not by then, the following week for sure, we'll have him back.
I hope so.
Okay, but now, time to dig into
your favorite part.
Yes, I'm actually going to have to abbreviate this one a little bit because we have got I'll tell you, if you wanted to rank the importance of FAIRtax Power Radio shows, today's would be one that was really important. The subject we're going to discuss today is something that can really have far-reaching implications for the FAIRtax movement and for just people who shop.
Exactly.
Jade and I mentioned it last week. It's the FAIRtax Marketplace, but we're going to dig into that in a little bit more detail as soon as I dig into what the Congress critters are doing to the tax code.
Oh, what now?
H.R. 5033 to amend the Internal Revenue Code to establish a credit for the domestic production of rare earth magnets and for other purposes.
Okay.
And if you want to know what that's all about, you'll have to ask Representative Eric Swalwell of California. So that's his bill. Rare earth magnets, you get a tax break. Now, here's a good one here. What did I do with it? There it is. As a trucker, you will appreciate this one. H.R. 5024. To amend the Internal Revenue Code to allow for payment to certain individuals who dye fuel and for other purposes. Now, you know that the fuel that your truck uses on the highway and the fuel that a farmer uses in his machines in the field, one of them has a heavy road tax on it and the other one doesn't.
Exactly.
So how do you tell them apart?
You dye it.
Yes. So now you don't dye. Hopefully it's not the kind that will clog the injectors and stuff. But if you certain individuals, I assume that means those who contribute to the right political campaign, if you dye fuel, you can get a payment. It says to allow payments, not a tax credit or anything, but to amend the Internal Revenue Code to allow payments to certain individuals who dye fuel.
Well, if you're dyeing fuel, aren't you working for a company, and aren't you going to be paid anyway? What is this?
You would think so. Individuals don't. The people who now, which one gets the fuel? The truck fuel or the farmer's fuel, or the dye?
I think it's the truck fuel.
The trucker's fuel is dyed.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've been in a truck.
Oh, well, whatever. So that, folks, is the craziness that's going into the tax code. And, of course, we think the best argument we can make for getting rid of the tax code is to show people what kind of crazy stuff is in here.
That's right. And the solution?
Get rid of it all, pull it out by the roots, and implement the FAIRtax to replace all
You got it. Yep.
All that garbage. All right, well, hopefully Ron will be back with us next week, but certainly we'll be digging into some more stuff on Congress.gov next week. But I want to get in right away to this idea of the marketplace.
Yes, I'd like to learn about this.
Yeah, well, Mike Simmons, who was on the board here in Florida, he has, he designs websites and maintains websites for a living. If you're a business and you want to get online, he can help you out a little bit. But he had this idea that if people are going to buy things anyway, given the choice, would you, as a FAIRtax supporter, prefer to buy something from Amazon or to buy it from some other business that supports the FAIRtax?
Oh, somebody who supports the FAIRtax every time.
Now, today, how would you find that business? You wouldn't.
No.
You don't
That'd
know.
Be very
if you're going through, if you're looking for, whatever you're looking for, printer ink cartridges, for example. There are a bunch of places that sell those things. You don't know which ones support the FAIRtax and which ones support causes that you don't like and which ones don't care and all that stuff. But if you could find a business that supports the FAIRtax and buy something that you would need anyway and were going to buy anyway, and buy it from them, then you'd be helping the FAIRtax and you'd be, just making the purchase you'd need all along.
I would love that.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we talked rather extensively with Mike Simmons about this. He's the brainchild behind the idea, and he's also the technical power behind making it work. So
I'm glad he's there.
He is. And have you ever noticed sometimes that you don't notice something until after the fact that you've missed something?
Yes.
As I was reviewing the interview with Mike, I realized that neither of us mentioned the actual web address.
Oh, no.
So he called it up and was looking at us, and here's our site. So people that were watching this on a video might be able to make out the little small writing at the top. But I'm going to see if I can figure out how Ron does this and put these little captions under it. The web address is FAIRtaxMarketplace.com.
Well, that sounds simple enough.
It sure is. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just roll this interview with Mike, and everybody can learn all about it.
That sounds good to me.
At FAIRtax Power Radio is most pleased to be talking with Mike Simmons today, board member of the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association and web designer extraordinaire. I know you're a busy man. Thanks for talking to us.
No problem, Bob. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, I try. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, you make your living helping businesses develop and continue to have a effective online presence, and wanted to do that for the FAIRtax. So describe the thinking that went into this marketplace idea, and describe your vision for where you'd like to see it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's something I'm passionate about. I basically looked at a lot of different sites that people normally go to shop, such as Amazon and things like that, and realized that their goals and their ideals don't really align with a lot of people's. I mean, I don't really like shopping at Amazon because I don't agree with the way that Amazon spends their money and supports causes that I don't support and things like that. And then I also, in addition to doing web work for the FAIRtax, I also run the FAIRtax store.
Yes.
So I do all of the order procurements and shipping and everything else for the store. And I noticed on a lot of the orders that I sent out that there were a lot of orders going to businesses. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's probably in our supporter list quite a few of people out there that own businesses that would like to sell to supporters of the FAIRtax, supporters of free market capitalism and things like that we support. And then in return, people that are supporters of the FAIRtax would like to support businesses that support the same ideals that they do.
Yeah. So given the choice, you'd rather buy the widget you need from a FAIRtax supporting business than from Amazon.
Exactly. Right.
And so now the idea is to give FAIRtax supporters that choice.
Yes, correct. Yeah. And to give businesses a chance to put stuff online. A lot of these businesses might not have an avenue to where they can sell online. And it's fairly expensive to set up a online selling portal correctly. I mean, you could do it in a way that isn't gonna help you much. But to do it correctly, it can get rather expensive. So my idea was, okay, let's put a portal up that connects the FAIRtax supporter with the FAIRtax businesses and other businesses, and make it to where it's no cost to the business to put something on the site.
So they get a portal basically for nothing.
They get a portal for nothing, right? The only time they would ever pay anything is a small commission fee to FAIRtax every time a sale comes through our portal. So it's a way to support the FAIRtax and to add a revenue stream to FAIRtax for fundraising.
Yeah, and I assume that's kind of what the third-party vendors that list on Amazon do.
Exactly. Third party, Amazon takes their cut, and it's not a cheap cut. Believe me, I've tried. I've tried the Amazon route as far as like making money online, and Amazon can take up to 20 to 30% of a gross revenue from a sale. and then it's also costs for storage and all shipping and everything else on top of that. So it's something that I just kind of said, okay, I'm going to put this together. So I put together a proposal and got it approved by the board and put this website together based on that. So
okay. So
sorry, I'm just gonna.
Oh, no problem. Mine's liable to ring at the same time too. But
Yeah.
Okay, the prices that the consumers would pay using the FAIRtax Marketplace would still be competitive with what they could find elsewhere, correct?
Yes, and really, in reality, most businesses have a amount put into their price to cover the cost of advertising and things like that. So that would cover the fee that the business pays us for any sale that we make. Again, because we don't charge the business just to put the product on our site. The only time they pay is when we make a sale for them. It's a commission-based type situation.
Yeah, okay.
So,
well, Amazon, I think they started out selling books and then they expanded into anything you could possibly want, you can find there. Now, obviously, we're not going to have an Amazon-like selection of products for people to choose from right out of the box.
right.
How are we going to get this thing going? I mean, if you got a new store, you've got to stock the shelves before people will come there.
Yeah, we've got a couple ways. Let me share my screen with you.
Sure.
And hold on here just a second. I'm going to open up my screen share. Can you see my screen?
I see a note there. I can now. Gotcha.
Okay.
Boy, you got a really busy desktop there.
Yeah, that's not even as bad as it sometimes gets. Which that's the drawback of being in the web marketing and web design business.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm working on 20 different things at one time, so
okay.
multitask.
I just want to say really quickly, for those people who are listening to FAIRtax Power Radio on the podcast or on one of the radio stations, you really need to go back to FAIRtaxGuys.com and call up the video here so you can see what Mike is demonstrating.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Bob. Yep, and everything. So anyway, you should see the site now up on my screen.
We do.
Okay, and what we have so far, and there's a delay a little bit here, so I'm going to talk and do it, and then it may not show up for a second, but as you scroll down on the site, you'll see the different services and products that we have on the site right now. Right now, we only have 3. Two of them are my services that I'm offering, and then there's also a company that sells printer cartridges.
Okay.
Which basically I'm going to kind of demo that because everybody might have a printer at home that they have to buy ink cartridges or toner cartridges.
Yeah, I seem to be running out all the time.
Yeah. So rather than buy it somewhere else, they can come on this site, buy it from this vendor on the site here, and we get a commission for FAIRtax every time somebody places an order.
Okay, that's a live site people can actually use today.
They can use today. Yep. Okay. It's all set, ready to go.
Go ahead.
And so they would just click on that right there where it says, and then here is the actual page that for the product that you go to.
Okay.
And you can see it's got the thing here. And then it has one thing I need to explain, maybe this is a good time to do that, is that we are unlike Amazon, which does a lot of shipping and billing and returns and storage and everything else. We don't do that. We're more a facilitator.
So you're kind of like an eBay, just the marketplace where the buyers and sellers get together, although there's no bidding on this.
Yeah, right. It's just more along the lines of buying something through this site. Everything else is handled by the vendor. So we have a link on here where somebody could look at the shipping policy and look at the return policy in case they needed to. And it goes straight to the vendor's website and stuff.
Okay.
But if somebody came on here and they needed cartridges, they could click on that buy product link. Okay.
Yeah. I need an HP Black 60 cartridge. How do I find it?
Yep. then you just go right here. Up here it goes HP, Epson, Brother, Canon. They got just about every brand you could think of. So you would just click on there.
Okay, so now you're looking at the vendor's actual website.
Right. But when somebody clicked through to this vendor site from our site, then there's a cookie that's put onto that click. So that vendor knows that that click came from our site. And if somebody purchases a cartridge or a toner cartridge or something like that from this vendor, then that vendor knows that that purchase came from FAIRtax Marketplace, and that vendor will pay us a commission for every sale.
Well, here's where I'll go next time I need an ink cartridge.
Yep. Yeah. So that's how it generally works, Bob. We're more of a facilitator. Now I'm gonna go back to our site here. We're more of a facilitator and somebody who is putting the people that support us and the people that have products to sell together and stuff. So
okay, somebody says, all right, I want to use this site. Do they have to create an account for themselves, or can they shop as a guest?
They can shop as a guest, but we suggest they create an account.
Okay, go through that process.
Yeah. So if they create an account, then it's they've got a login that they could log in. They could check on orders, messages, and a lot of other things that give them the ability to
okay, go through the account creation process really quick.
Okay, so really what you would do here is go to my account, and
you're already signed in. Okay,
yeah, I'm logged in. So basically, not to log off, because if I log off, I'm going to lose the site. But
okay, you don't want that.
Yeah, but you can see here, this is the account page. It shows any orders I've made, any downloads, addresses, account details, vendors, support tickets, and things like that. So it gives you a lot more flexibility and a lot more information that you could utilize online.
So someone who doesn't have an account, if they click on that little My Account, it will give them the opportunity to create one.
Yes. And one thing I will say is that we will not sell any information. We're not in the information selling business. So if somebody creates an account, that doesn't mean that they're going to get bombarded by a gazillion, emails from every single, shop site out there. Any information that's people sign up and use to create an account is strictly for this site. It's not going to go outside the site.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
I'll say, how can people, if I'm sitting out here and says, gee, I need printer cartridges, I need light bulbs, I need widgets, I need a bicycle chain. What kind of products can people make suggestions as to what product they'd like to see?
Yes, right underneath this About Us tab on the menu up here.
Okay.
There's a drop down that says suggestions. So you click on that. And then here's something where you could fill in this form, your name and your email address.
And you don't need an account to do this, correct?
You do not need an account. You could basically just come on here and just fill this out as a guest. This is for everybody.
Okay.
And then you could say, I'd like to see products for purchase. And then there's like all the different categories that we've come up with. But if you don't see something up here, or if you see a specific item that you're looking for,
Rubik's cubes.
Yeah, you could actually put that right down there. Yeah, you would say that, wouldn't you?
I would, yes.
So put that in there, and that will give us something that we could go out, and our team could actually go out and try to find a vendor that would supply that type of product to our supporters. And the reason we ask for your email address here is so that after we find that product, we could send you an email and say, hey, that product is now available on our site Here's the link to the page.
Okay, so if I fill this in and say I want to see some Rubik's cubes on this site, you will take that information to someone who sells those things and say, look, I've got a buyer for you. If you'll come on our portal, I can hook you up with this guy who wants to do business with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And basically say, we've got, I don't know how many people we have on our list, the FAIRtax national list, but there's lots. And so we could say we've got, we market to our list. We market through our avenues, such as you guys with FAIRtax Guys, FAIRtax Power Radio, all of our Facebook and YouTube channels. We intend to promote products and this site from all those avenues. So we could tell somebody we've got a lot of different ways that we could promote your products, and it's free to sign up. It's just cost every time we sell something for you.
Well, that was pretty good. So people here can, using this suggestion form, can say what they'd like to see. That tells a business that sells that thing, I've got a buyer for you, and that's an incentive for them to sign on. And so the more participation we get on this, the quicker we can build up a site that will have more things on it that people will use.
Absolutely. And we're working all the time to add vendors, in the background also. So besides people suggesting to us, we're on the other end, trying to go out and find vendors in these particular, categories that would kind of lend themselves to the site itself.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, somebody makes a suggestion, and when you find somebody that can fill their need, you email them, and hopefully it goes well from there. Describe your 10-year vision for this thing. Where would you like to see this in 10 years?
Oh gosh, I'd really love to see it where we've got lots and lots of vendors and lots of sales, and possibly going into some like you said, Amazon started out as a book selling site, and look at them now. And I have no pretense that we're going to become another Amazon. I would like to go to space. I would like somebody to be able to fund my rocket ship program, but I'm not looking for that. But my goal is to have this site as a major contributor to fund our efforts to get HR 25 passed in the Congress, because we need funds to be able to build our support for getting that effort passed.
I'd love to see us have the means to use those lunch and taxes videos as TV commercials. Now that would just be amazing.
Yeah. And again, every sale we make on here puts a little bit more money into the kitty to help us fund the efforts to try to pass the fair tax and get rid of the IRS once and for all, which would be a godsend.
Well, I think this is a great idea. I think you've done a really good job designing the site. It looks to be really friendly and people can use it. We would certainly urge all of our FAIRtax Power Radio audience to at least come in here and take a look, make some suggestions if you like, make an account for yourself if you want. And again, no, we're just about out of time here, but I thank you so much for your effort. And
one more quick one, Bob.
Yeah, go ahead.
If somebody has a business and they want to become a vendor, all they got to do is click on that Become a Vendor.
Okay.
Fill out this form, name, company name, email, and phone number, and the best time for us to call them. And then we will call them and get the additional information to set their store up. So it's easy to become a vendor. We want to make it to where it's not something where they have to figure out what things to put in here to, set up their shop and everything. So we'll do that for them. So,
all right. Well, good job, and appreciate your efforts on behalf of the FAIRtax. And I know you're busy. I'll go ahead and let you get back to your busy schedule for the day. And thank you so much for talking with us on FAIRtax Power Radio.
Yeah, not a problem, Bob. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and there it is. There's a lot packed into that 18 minutes.
There
of change.
certainly was, and I'm definitely going to be going and shopping at that marketplace.
Yeah, I was really glad to see, of course, it's live now. There's not much there. Of course, one of the things that you got a problem with a startup like this, if you built a store, if the shelves are empty, nobody's coming, and until nobody's going to go there, and until people start coming there, there's no incentive to load the shelves. So we're kind of in a little conundrum to start with.
Well, some of the FAIRtax supporters out there who may own a business would like to join us at the marketplace.
But I was glad to see that of the 3 places that's already in there, one of them actually does sell printer ink cartridges.
Oh, does it?
So the next
that's
time
good.
I don't consider myself a real heavy user of printer ink cartridges, but every time I turn around, I seem to be needing another one.
Oh, yeah.
So we will do that. And I love the idea of the suggestion box that he has. He's got this little form. So if you've out there got something you would like to see, printer ink cartridges are something that everybody uses. If you're into knitting and you need, knitting yarn, or if you're into crafts and puzzles and toys and games or fishing equipment or just anything, whatever kinds of things you would like to see, you can go out to FAIRtaxMarketplace.com. Under that little About Us, fill in the suggestion form, and I would suggest you go do that as soon as we get done, because I already have. I told him I want to see some Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder why, Bob.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But yes, if you could go out there, and hopefully that will get the process started.
Yeah.
Once people know, what they'd like to see, then that lets Mike and his team take ideas out to vendors that sell those things and say, look, we've got buyers for these products for you, and that would help facilitate getting people onto the marketplace real quickly. And hopefully, can you imagine in a couple of years we've got hundreds of vendors making hundreds of sales every day, everything coming into the FAIRtax.
That'd be great. I got to remind people too, and I know Ron would hate me for saying this, but it's only about 4 months to Christmas.
All right, well.
So if you have something in mind that you want to see on that marketplace, you go right ahead and put your comments in.
Okay, well that's really a good idea. Now we got to give Simmons an old hat tip over there for coming up with that idea.
That's a wonderful idea.
And so it's a win-win. I mean, people buy things they normally buy anyway. The merchants that are listed on there, contribute a little bit to the FAIRtax, and hopefully we can get enough money to run some of those lunch and taxes videos as TV commercials.
Yeah, I love those.
Wouldn't you love to see that? Or get Paul Wazakowski to make some new ones.
Yeah, that would be even better.
He'd be really good. So again, FAIRtaxMarketplace.com is the web address. It is live right now, even though there's not a lot there, but you can go out and make your suggestions as to what you would like to see. Hopefully Ron will be back with us here next week. If not, I will look forward to seeing you again.
Well, I look forward to seeing you too.
Okay, well, until we meet again, we are the FAIRtax people, reminding you as always that the FAIRtax is the only truly fair tax, and once you understand it,
you will demand it.
So what do you need from me to get these taxes collected?
Glad you asked, because there is a fair amount of information you need to be aware of.
That's your tax plan?
Oh, no, this is just the revisions for this year's tax plan. What I need from you is you need to keep track of all of your income, as well as any taxes that you've already paid, and also any gifts that you received or gifts you've given to churches or charities or individuals throughout the entire year. Do you do any side jobs?
Every now and again.
Great, because there's some more information about that right here. Everything you need to know right here. So just simply compile that, send it in to us. Be careful, make sure there's no mistakes. If we do find mistakes, or maybe we can fine you or, throw you in jail. So you might want to be aware of that.
And what do you need from me?
As an individual, nothing. As a business owner, or if you're doing side jobs, yes, you would have to collect taxes on that, but, it's all right here.
Can I get a copy of that?